of Renegades. Cloud9 have proved that they're a force to be reckoned with so far this season, with their reworked lineup clinching them 3 wins so far. Last night, they faced pack leaders NRG, who have been crushing the opposition with 12 wins. Although giving them a tough fight, Cloud9 narrowly lost out in their first match, losing 16-14 on Inferno. However, the North Americans weren't defeated yet, managing to halt NRG in their tracks as they took train 16-8. Both Automatic and Rush looked dominant as they shut down NRG and will need to be on top form tonight as they clash heads with Liquid. Then, Liquid move on to face Renegades, who currently sit second on the leaderboard with 5 wins and 2 losses. Renegades have managed to clinch wins over both E United and Complexity. However, will need to put some fire in their step if they hope to defeat the tried and tested Liquid. Canadian Twists has looked stellar so far this season and will undoubtedly be a threat to Renegades going into this fight. Don't go anywhere, it's all about to go down, right here at youtube.com/FaceIt.
Good evening, welcome back to the show. We still have Jordan in a Dan seat as Dan is on his way back from having physio for his shoulder, which he had an operation on. I presume it's this one, maybe this one, I don't know.
He hit too many whip shots, and then it just became dislocated.
Yeah, too much Quake action going on. I just booked a flight to Las Vegas.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Vegas on Saturday of next week. I'm going to play some poker and then come back on Sunday.
The trade effect just hit you hard from Valve, and you just haven't been able to get your fix, and... Now you're heading to Vegas.
To trade some poker chips instead. We're going to have SK coming up versus Optic. That's going to be the first 2 matches of our 4 matches here for North America. We can take a look at the whole schedule and see what is going down here, the games and the maps. Train, Mirage, Cash, Mirage. Marvelous, nice open maps and Train as well. SK versus Optic to kick things off. And then Cloud9 versus Complexity.
Yes.
You're waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Cloud9 versus Complexity will be coming up later on. Hopefully some more Skadoodle as well. Since we were live with Europe, it's been announced that Team Liquid have signed Taco.
Yep.
Steel requested to be released, and apparently they found a new team for him, which is an interesting choice of words.
Yeah, I read it, and apparently, I don't know if it's Nitro or someone was saying that it seemed like he wanted to step down, but the fact that Taco was available made him comfortable feeling like he wasn't letting the team down now.
Yeah, that's cool.
So maybe he wants to be back home, or is he joining another North American team?
It's curious because they said they found a team for him. Like, reading into that, does that mean he just wanted to just like not be on a team? Like he was more concerned of not being on that team as opposed to being on another team, or is it just?
Well, maybe he's going to join that Brazilian squad, and they're going to be stationed in Brazil part of the year, and that's better for his personal life or something.
Perhaps it is. But then, like, if he's joining NTC, well, some people say KNG has visa issues. Some people say, well, some people don't say that. So I don't know how much truth there is. I hope he doesn't because I want to see him playing at LANs again. I'm kind of annoyed actually that we're going to see some kind of like muted KNG because if you look at his like videos of him back to 1.6 days, he's fired up all the time. He's shouting at his opponents and all that kind of stuff, and that stuff is awesome. Like, yes, he said, "Prove it or I'll kill you," and that's over the top. But I mean, let's move on, man. It's like he was going to kill him, was it? I mean, maybe it was, but hopefully it wasn't. But
it does suck because like I'm someone who doesn't. I slip up sometimes, but it's never that major, and I just feel so bad for these guys because I've definitely talked to KNG in person. And, of course, like, yeah, these guys, they maybe say a little bit of the wrong thing, or, like, when he interacted with FNS, it's like, I wish he knew FNS because then, like, that would have been such a funny interaction.
Yeah.
But because he was in such a vulnerable state and he doesn't have a super close relationship to him, that thing got blown out. And then the Thorn, it's like, come on, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, the series of events that have happened from that interaction just blows my mind.
Yeah.
So.
And for me, it's like, A, I want to see Counter-Strike. B, you want to see people giving it on LAN because it makes it for a better show. You know, like shouting at each other, like you saw people, even when Immortals are playing it in the booths in Poland, and you could just see them shouting, but people can't hear what they're saying. But that's like they're releasing their energy and stuff, and that's awesome. Yeah,
maybe
it's great.
I loved trash talk, and I loved giving and receiving trash talk. There's maybe one time in my career where someone said something but personal, and I literally said something outside. I was like, "Hey, dude, I love it. Just don't say anything like that." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know I said that, dude. I would never." And I was like, "Yeah, good." And we had like an understanding. That was when like the fire inside of the little Jordan little man syndrome. I was about to beat somebody up there and say something about my mama. But no, yeah, the trash talk is it's. I come from the Southern California LAN scene here, where I was 14 years old. I won a match, got my face spit in, and like the nature of the scene was, I definitely don't promote that, but the nature of the scene was you had to be kind of like thick-skinned on LAN.
Yeah.
Everyone was yelling at me. Someone was saying, "Hey, you're tall enough to fit in that trash can over there, Jordan," while I'm like rushing up mid on Inferno. Like I literally remember that. And it was just kind of like the nature of them trying to like do anything to make me feel like, you know, it's funny. Like these things are funny or it can embarrass you. But that was like the ice cold. That's where it was born for me, you know, just to play on LAN, you know.
Yeah, so. I think that's cool. I think it has its benefits because if you look at, there are infamous videos of the arcades in New York where I can't repeat some of the things that were said because they were pretty extreme. But there are videos. Just look at like Yipes and like Arcade or something.
I've watched Smash tournaments at Web2Zone in New York before when they had Counter-Strike there.
Yeah.
Ape crap. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Censored myself. No, yeah, it is wild. That actually is to watch fighting game tournaments. I don't know what's going on. You came from there. It's the most hype tournaments ever.
But that's part of what makes some of these players so good in crazy environments where they've got like 2,000 people behind them shouting all kinds of crap, and they can just tune it all out because they grew up in that environment. So I love that stuff, and it does make you know, things more entertaining for the people at home as well. So I hope we're not going to see some, you know, I hope he's not going to go like Mace and become like Pastor KNG now and just come with a white collar or something, because that would really suck. But anyway, SK versus Optic on Train. Indeed, we have Bolts here for, well, not Bolts, Stewie here. That's the one we're looking at for SK. Stewie Taker, he's got the blue gear up.
I want to ask you, I haven't been able to watch Gade much, but I heard that he had aim similar to Config, which if that's true, what a poetic start to the round here as Gade gets an opening kill with the P250. And as I was saying, I heard some great things about him. This team's really interesting. You know, Stanislaw has been known to put together a very functionally and structurally sound team on the offense, right? So I'm curious to see what this team's going to do. Fallen is not, though. It's a 4v4 now.
Attempt from Fallen as well towards Ivy position. I always like it when you're about to leave an angle and you fire one more shot, because it's one time out of 20, you'll get a free kill and not even realize that you killed somebody. Anyway, Optic trying to surround the bomb site now. They've taken the Ivy position, but Fallen's causing more problems for them on the bomb train. Stewie will take his place, but he can't get the angle fast enough coming in from Ivy. Config watching the smoke as they look to plant the bomb. Cold Zero trying to run distraction. We see some burst fire being attempted by Stanislaw, and all kinds of weird things are going on. Press one of those. Fur coming in from the side.
Thank you. Cut my finger.
Oh, dear. Down goes Config, and we see Cajun B at the back. He does have an angle on the bomb. Doesn't have the range with the Glock, though, so the meat shield should be good. They've both got Kevlar. And there we go. How have you cut yourself?
I don't know.
Oh, wow. That's curious. I cut myself while commentating last week because I closed the knife on my finger. So, you know, I know why I cut myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's obvious there.
Ooh.
I actually cut myself yesterday as well. It's actually hilarious. I was trying to do my dishes and I literally grabbed a fillet knife by the blade because it was hiding under a dish. It was pretty awesome.
I think that's what you tweeted about that.
Yeah, it was before the stream.
Yeah.
There's Pistol going to CTs here, and since they got the bomb planted, they're opting for the third round buy. So giving Stu some, they're feeding him right now, and he's got the gun to optimize, get $900 per kill here. Trying to stack up.
Oh, I was going to say that's an important kill on the low ground, but he's not able to get there. That was the only man waiting for him. Not that he knew that, but May have racked up a number of kills. Cold Zero against his bell rung, and he's sure to get finished off. This might actually be a winnable round for Optic, weirdly enough, even though they don't have Kevlar, although that's quickly changed now, leaving Cage and B alone. Once again with the Glock. So, at this point, he has nothing to lose. And in terms of what's there is to gain, a weapon on the floor. But, as you can see, we could not ask so much of him on this occasion. 2-0 to Optic Gaming, and with the bomb plants, Optic Gaming will be in for the buy. Gade dropping the AWP for Shazam. It was trained where I was calling him Shazam, so we'll see if he gets a spam game on.
Shazam.
Will it be full Shazam or full Shazam? Time will tell. Bolt's dropping a flashbang to buy a different grenade. Let's see where he's going. Looking for the IV peak. You can go for the IV peak, the stop sign peak. Just peak on top of one of two trains. Or the peak towards connector, or the player trying to run towards Pop Dog. In the meantime, SKM with a very aggressive start towards Ivy, and that'll keep Optic entertained for a while.
I had to play against this offense a lot on Train, and you know, I would watch their demos and I would just try to find if I could see a pattern so that I could walk through that smoke like Gade did not do just now. And occasionally I guessed right and occasionally I guessed wrong, but it's really tough to play against because when they take Ivy from you like that, they just do exactly this. They delay everything for you, and the CT's SK is pretty smart to hold onto their nades. Like Fur right here having that smoke is so massive. And yeah, they do this really well.
Yeah, and it makes it hard to execute your own plans, keep your own timings on point. Because you have to, may feel compelled to tell the CTs that you might be there towards Ivy. Not necessarily that you are there, but that the possibility of you being there still exists. And now SK Gaming have one Molotov onto Stewie 2K. Basic pop flash from Config, no response per se from the CT side. Almost lining up for Fallen. Got to be careful now. 24 seconds. A great headshot onto Gate. No one has to respond. Finally, he'll get taken down. Cold Zero tries to clean up, tries to escape with the knife, and he absolutely will for the time being. Stewie 2K now with that late Molotov, but it's not deep enough to stop the plant. So he's shown presence towards the back trains and will rotate towards connector. Will we see a boost here, perhaps? I'm sure the smoke will have gone by the time he gets there. So what is the play here? Cold and Stewie. They'll send Cold up. He's expendable man with 13 HP. Both with defuse kits. Where are these two T's though? Shazam taken out, but it's high health Stewie who's been picked off. Cold Zero has no idea where KGB's coming from. He's on the opposite side of the bomb train. Finding the angle as Cold Zero looks for a player from the main area, and that's the first round for Optic.
Have we reached the end of round time? Is it pretty consistent at all tournaments? I think like right as I was coming back over summer when I got benched, I think that change was slowly happening. I remember Tyler tweeting about it.
I know DreamHack and another org changed it so it was like really fast.
That one seemed pretty quick. Are you guys on the same page?
That was like 5 seconds. No. The DreamHack's one was like half of that. But then after a while that was changed to something else or reverted. I don't know which one.
Yours is 5 seconds here?
It looks, right now there's a countdown at the end of the round of the seconds left before the next round starts, and I think it starts at 5, so I'd say 5 seconds. Which I think is the default. It feels like default to me, or actually I think for a while it was kind of overly long, so I don't know if it's a default, but anyway, we'll come back to that because there's a push. The sidewalk is held down by Stewie, moving around, keeping Cage and B guessing. He knows he's heavily tagged, going for the one-taps, but again, in a weird spot now. Had low bullets with both guns, and Shazam's activated.
It's a weird re-peek by Stu there. Without the reload, I guess he's not sure where. What?
Whoa, okay. Fur. That was.
I wonder. It almost seemed like he didn't realize. It's almost like one of his teammates told him that guy was right there to your left, Pop, because he like literally after the kill did not snap over. That was peculiar.
Okay, I'm so glad that happened because there's a clip of me walking on Mirage from T-Spawn, flanking as a CT, and there's a guy on the upper ground on the corner throwing a grenade, and I completely missed him. What's even funnier was he's lagged out just standing there, but I just didn't see him at all.
Look at, he definitely doesn't see him.
That is crazy.
Because I think his team must have had to call it. That must have been Stu or Fallen that just said it. That's so funny. Great job by Stu. Stu's been that for a while with the Molotov back pop and gets the kill and stays alive. Like, aside from the quick peek, that he played that pretty well. And kept his team in the round there. And now Stanislaw with the only AK here, going to look to prod for a kill here somewhere. He knows Stu might be spotting a little, but Stu's pretty smart with this. Aware that that's a possibility. And Cold over rotating again to the inside site. Whoa, that's quite the sound.
What in the blazes is that?
The Terminator and Predator are having a fight in our hallway, and
Someone's farting as well.
Terminator just farted. And that's Predator's inhaling.
Okay, someone is doing something with a pipe, so we'll ignore that for the time being.
Someone give me a instrumental. We'll freestyle the rest. All the things included should overwhelm.
50 seconds remaining as this push comes in from Optic Gaming. It's fine. Sooner they get done a bit the better, so we'll just tolerate it for a minute or two. But apologies.
We could also just like mute ourselves and just watch some good old-fashioned CS. And we just whisper.
You could do that.
Hey,
Gade is now the last one standing, but lots of damage has been done here to the CT side. 1 versus 2. Now Cold Zero's alone, spotted him. Can he get the bomb down? Seems he will entrust that he won't be peaked, and he's not wrong. Ooh, around the corner, Gade is on point today, and has surely destroyed the economy of the CT side.
I'm surprised Cold wasn't ready to trade there. He slid a little far back to hold the bomb train. Maybe, you never know what the communication is like in the team. Something could have been said with his location, but you would think if he knew he was from bomb, he would have been closer, so he must have not known. I'm going to firmly stand with that belief, but SK not happy with that round loss, and I go for the rebuy. Fallen with the scout in hand, ready to use it like an op. He's so good at hitting headshots. He's one of those players. There's a couple players that you watch, and somehow they just always hit scout headshots.
Yeah.
I have to get pretty lucky with the pre-aim.
Man, if you saw PKL's Scout 4K on train yesterday, it was crazy,
Disgusting.
Man. It was like top 1 disgusting on train. Top 1. It's absolutely absurd.
Looks like Terminator slowly losing the fight. Predator out there seems to have him on the ground. Most life knocked out of him. Yeah, Optic. I like this play, the late walkout mid, when you know the team doesn't have a lot of ops, but Stewie with the perfectly timed kill there, he's going to be able to call the outside hit. They're all going to rotate and converge. He's going to be able to push and get a flank. Fur already in ladder, though, with the great positioning, using the CZ like the FAMAS, as we called it. Ooh, what if you got that last thing? Config, known to be the human aimbot, but you can't do much against 4 different opponents on your screen at the same time. And SK going to go ahead and take a 4-2 lead.
Marvelous.
Marvelous.
Very good, Jordan. Very good. Well, Jordan, if you're...
Am I learning from you?
Jordan, I don't know. Are you?
I think my 2 main weaknesses of play-by-play are, 1, my voice. Since I have such a high-pitched voice, I get more nasally the more deep I try to go. And then second of all, being a pro, it's hard for me to get super hype unless I legitimately am hyped about seeing something unique or new or crazy. But I guess the benefit there is if I do get hyped, you know it's some good shit.
Is that number 3 or
is that 4? No, it's 4.
It's like you're like 5th Larry.
Robin.
Swedish
no, he's
tier
a little
of profanity. Although he's...
All sponsors, I'm not affiliated with ECS in any way. I'm an independent entity.
Shazam with the AWP. Another rough round for Optic Gaming.
Wow. Good kill there by Shazam.
Yeah, put into a 5 versus 3. See if Bolts can hold his position. Ivy always an important area to hold. But he can't stop the bomb from going down, which compounds the problems here for SK Gaming. They are against the clock now. Cold Zero against the world around the bomb train. Shazam, though, has been left alone and is 1 versus 2. He knows one player is Pop Dog, trying to advance as they try to advance out of the Pop Dog. Will they expect he's here? A lot of sound and commotion. It doesn't seem they realize, but they do now. Trying to get onto the bomb, but Cold Zero can't do anything about it. Stewie up the ladder, off the ladder.
There you go.
Very sneaky stuff from Stewie.
Another questionable peak. Cold is, to me, one of the best players in these situations usually.
Oh no, defuse kit. He couldn't get it in time. It's on the wrong side of the bomb train.
See, to me that's confusing because they definitely heard him. He knew he was there. I mean, this is Major Champ. How much can I actually say? But I guess from just like, you know, I'm here, I'm doing my job, I'm commentating, I'm analyzing, like, I guess I feel bad as hell. My opinion is, you know the guy's got to fall back left, right? And I guess maybe Cold's thinking if he peeks Stewie while Cold's holding E-box, Shazam will be able to get the kill and fall away. So Cold's trying to take the wider angle, so if he gets the kill, but I feel like he could just be floating on that angle. Maybe he just didn't think he could be seen. You think Stu would tap it and then he would be ready to swing. You would rather let Stu die defusing and you guarantee the trade than you die first. But you never know in these situations what's going on, what angle he thought is happening, what call he got, what sound he heard. So that's why I feel bad. It's, you know, I don't like when you assume the player made a mistake always. Anyways.
You don't like getting called back. You don't like getting called out.
Yeah, when I was a player, I would have some things happen. I would hear the VOD after. And what does it really matter, right? Like,
oh, you just wait, Jordan. Next time you play a pro match, and you'll be like, oh my God, why has he done that?
Oh,
it's like, he just left forward. What do you want? What do you mean? We're 3 seconds into the round.
Nothing.
Bought Kevlar, left spawn on the pistol. I
Cut
can't
out
believe
with
he's done that.
nade in his hand. That was my famous ones.
Granate. I had a long period of time where I'd get caught with the nade in the hands.
KGB about to go down to the FAMAS. I mean, CZ. If you were watching earlier, we proved that, again, that the CZ has something wrong with it.
The CZ is a FAMAS plus 10%.
Plus 10%. Obviously, the damage fall is 15% greater for the CZ, making that the caveat, but the price is...
yeah, if you're close enough, the CZ is a FAMAS.
Yes.
Plus 10%.
Plus 10%.
It's 10% better than a FAMAS. More damage, 10%.
That's so wild, because then it's like a map's like Cobble. If you're the drop player, like you can definitely like CZ is totally viable, or the Broken Wall player.
Yeah, yeah. I think.
Oh,
yes.
Terminator's got some life back in him as he's on the
some
ground. Predator throws a right hook. Silence in the hallway.
I gotta say, this is kind of weird play-by-play that you're doing right now.
Well, if anyone just
but you've got more energy, like. You know, you got the energy there. It's
good. There you go. Thank you.
Raising for the sense of urgency is there.
You know, I will tangent back into what's actually happening here by saying it's been weird to watch Stu play with this group. Not that we've got to see them much.
Surreal.
It's just unique because I've played against the SK guys so much, and I've felt their presence from spectator point of view, from playing them on a stage, playing them online. And we've had so many like ideas and thoughts about how they play and how we should counter them. And it's just so funny to have one of my teammates, ex-teammates, be on their squad now. It's going to be interesting.
I feel like it's a spy.
Yeah, in the future I'll get to talk to him about other Brazilian secrets and stuff. But for now, we just get to watch.
Absorb the Brazilian knowledge. That was one of the coolest things about any Beyond the Summit that I've been to. Which is all of them, but the discussion when SK players were on the couch and Person X would ask Person Y, what do you think of this? Just to, you know, expecting him to give the same answer that he would give, and just all being on the same page like that is really, really cool. Fallen won't have a cool time though on this occasion.
I think that's one of the coolest things, or the case studies, and I hope the longer CS lives, the more we see this in teams where they really create a culture of understanding throughout the team. They empower all the players to be able to make individual decisions that pave the game and not just having one or two guys that think. And it's something that I think is getting more and more popular as CS teams. But it's so hard to do unless you fully buy in and invest into your teammates as players and people, because, you know, these guys... You know, even when I heard that they had FNX on the team, you know, he just wanted to play. Or even I've heard Bolts or something, you know, and what was the thing with Simple and Flamey? Someone said on stream, like, Bolts just wants to pug. There's something leaked. And I think that even with those things said, I've never felt like the culture of their team has really wholly changed. Like, they've always been this team that they're all going to know the little tidbits, they're all going to share information, and they're all going to try to show up the best versions of themselves. So yeah, it's really cool to see. Yeah.
So we see Shazam taking a different approach on this occasion. So many targets have fallen, and he most certainly hits one. Not a checkpoint you want to be in for too long versus a Brazilian team. Be it SK, be it Luminosity or otherwise. AWPers everywhere in that country. Cold Zero picked off now by Shazam. Fallen looking for a target. He knew one player was to the right. Down he goes from a teammate. So many places to look, can't quite hit the mark. Optic though hitting the mark all over the A site. 3 plays surviving for them. They'll take an AW, well they've got the AWP on Shazam and 2 AKs to go, so definitely needed. Their money wasn't in the right place, but look what they've done to SK.
Stan is definitely, you know, Optic. A lot of people, for the naive fan, might just be like, Optic, oh, SK's falling off because this 4-6 score versus Optic Gaming or something. But they got to remember, one, the firepower that's on Optic, and two, like, Stanislav has been close to leading. Well, he's led a world-class team before. They won the E-League. He's gotten to the level where he beat pretty much everyone in the world. Obviously not to the level like Fallen, but for them to be in this scoreline versus SK is totally viable and reasonable and is reality nowadays. And it's going to be interesting to see Optic's journey, because I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the roster starting to come together, I was like, I don't know about this. But when they have Stanislav, they need someone like that to bring the structure, because the rest of those guys, I don't know, has Cajun maybe is called in the past, but I don't know if anyone else really has that experience to be that kind of leadership.
Yeah, structure
and then you have
so on.
personalities like Shazam and Config, which, you know, we've heard different things about them being like volatile when things go bad in the game. So like they really needed that kind of person to be an in-game leader. So gonna be curious to see how Optic does in the months to come.
Yeah, I hope it plays out with a stable roster, because obviously we've seen in the case studies of these international teams, we've seen that there can be some turbulence in terms of who is on the team until you can find common ground. Looking at FaZe, obviously they had to just like max out every statistic to find common ground. So,
and even then, didn't get all the titles they wanted.
Yeah?
Haven't.
Finals were not titles.
Yep.
But I don't think that's, like some people say, Ness, well, oh, it's time to make a change. But like if they're having that much success but just failing in the finals, I wouldn't say so. I don't think that's necessarily meaningful for change. If you're only losing the last match of the whole tournament, yeah, it doesn't look great to say second, but it's better than 5th, 7th, 9th, you know, 12th.
Yeah. And I think there's such an interesting case. You know, I think like Lurpus had a pretty cool point on it one day. Like, it's so hard. I mean, I don't know how he feels. Obviously, I think he has like these feelings about like how they run with Kerrigan or something. But in terms of like skill, you have to choose how much you confine a team like FaZe. But I was gonna go farther down that, but we might as well stay on the match. My tangents go pretty wild.
Hot flash towards the bump site. The second one, I think they were both short of the mark, it looks like there, so that'll need some practice. I know people don't want to line them up too much because it would kill a lot of time. Speaking of lineups, Cobb0 lands one there. Not sure if Bolt saw the cross, but he's just shoulder picking. Not really looking for a lethal engagement. Might have a burst at most. You see, just wants to see the information, then drop a smoke grenade. Do more than that. He needs to stay alive. That's a big frag from Fallen towards main. KGB was the only main player. Now we've got 2 players contained around the Ivy position. Creeping through the smoke gate, so sharp on the shot. As soon as Bolt sees him, he sees no more. That really compromises Fallen's position. He doesn't know that main is empty, so he has to fall back. He's got his player towards Pop Dog as well, so it's very limited in what they think they can do here, SK.
I feel like everybody knows Fur is in ladder, so he could play a big role in this round, but at the same time, everyone should know he's there. I'm surprised Config goes down first. They have a lot of time to scale at a bomb chain.
That is well, that's the bomb, and the bomb is the round in this situation with 25 seconds on the clock and a man advantage for the CT side.
If they're aware enough, they could walk into that smoke and grab the bomb. I don't know if Gade recognizes that opportunity. He called for the flash though, and he got it.
Off we go. As we can see, Stu2K is now flanked towards the main position. Spots the player without the bomb, chooses to take him out. Maybe he thought he was going to engage his teammate. I think ideally, Stu is going to play the longer game there, but it isn't necessary. Stu with both kills at the end for another round for SK. Bolts on the MP9. Just interesting in the IV position. Will compromise what he can really do there. Pop flashes again. First one, second one. Speaking of pop flashes, Stanislaw taken out towards main. That leaves him free to move the other pieces of on his chessboard, but seems their movement may be limited. We saw recently a nice pop flash from Rops in the ladder room, jump throwing a flashbang up the ladder out the window. You know what I mean? He was going out into A through Pop Dog.
Yeah.
And he bounced the pop flash through the window, like so bounced up the ladder, off the wall.
Oh, he was a T, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I get what
Was
you're
he a
saying.
T or was he CT? Well, whoever he was, he had to come out. He was one. He was a CT, but it was post plant. And he was 1 versus 3. But it was a cool flashback. I did not know that was even possible. It was awesome. I'll show it to you in a second. 40 seconds left. Speaking of seconds for Optic. Ooh, that's a big one from Config. Traded by Furno. And he will shut down the round. Running out of bullets is the only thing that's going to save Cajun B for the time being. Look at all those lasers trained on him. Kobe!
Great job by Fur. Was that 4?
I don't know if the grenade kill was his. I wasn't paying attention. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, he got
maybe.
2 in T mid and then 2
Yeah,
late right here.
Nice.
Almost a Asa.
Esaru.
Isaru.
I think you've got to get an R in there.
The triple hop from SK here.
We saw this from Gambit yesterday, and it did not go very well for them, to say the least.
What's the gap here? I feel like if you think people have double ops, there's a lot of variables, but I think the old just E-box 5-6 smoke. You get out mid of the pressure and make them think you're coming through the smokes, and then you start getting some opening from on top of the trains. But otherwise, it's super hard to really break through anywhere.
1 minute and 10. Bolts is upgraded from the MP9 to the AK-47, which is something. 2 players in the IV position. Oh, he hasn't checked it properly. But Config's facing the wall.
Oh my gosh, I almost haven't seen him take a lot of damage.
Oh, Config, does he get the 30? Does not see Fallen on connector. And it's the 3 orbs that remain. 40 seconds left for Optic, and Fallen's got to land this first shot. And of course he does. Moving so fast. He's the best AWPer, I think, to watch in a very tight, horrible situation. He has enough sense to look around at multiple angles. Down to the 2-on-2 now. 20 seconds remaining, and Stanislaw has opened up the B-bomb site for the rotation.
Oh yeah, I'd say Kenny S is the only person. Like Guardian obviously is like a really good slithery player, but like the sense of like the actual sensitivity Fallen uses and Kenny S use is insane with some of the like turnaround flick shots they hit. Daniel?
Am I live?
Hello.
You are live.
Oh.
Welcome back, Dan.
Hello. What's this then?
Stewie and Coles.
Aha.
Maybe, I mean, are they going for this? They're nowhere near the bomb, and they spent a long time just getting out of connector, so this is going to be a close one. Not sure where the money is at the moment, but here we go. The smoke is down. Cold Zero of the cover. Holy potatoes.
Those guys
You
are good at
wouldn't-
Counter-Strike.
You didn't think that was going to happen.
They're perfectly read where the last 2 guys could be, and I mean, I guess it makes sense aside from back pop. And Config, hurry up, brother. Almost let your boy die.
I think he might have knifed him if his teammate didn't come down the ladder.
Yeah. That little jump that Cole did on the little lip there almost actually cost him the aim punch.
Yeah, I thought he was done. With the inaccuracy. Last round of the first half then.
SK climbing back, hoping for 8 here after not the greatest starts to the CT side.
Well, that was really explosive. Fallen seems ready though. Actually, the positioning here for SK looks really, really good. Very, very chill. They don't have to really worry about anything. Just every T just coming from the front of the bomb site, and now it's just Shazam. See what he can do. Nice. Very nice. Smooth stuff from Shazam. Eventually get taken down. 8-7. It's SK.
And there it is.
Not having the most dominant of CT sides, but it's a pretty fair scoreline for both teams, and they're both very good train teams as well. It's actually always really, really interesting for me to see a Stanislaw team on train. I mean, we all remember back in the original Optic days when he took over, and it became the first map.
That's dirty.
Showing the flashbang that rops through from
Pop
Pop.
Nerd.
Yeah.
It's cool, isn't it?
That's an awesome one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, this was the first map where I really saw a holy moly. Stanislaw is he's really likes this map. He's created a very strong structure for his team, and he has a very consistent approach to it. And so it's really cool to see Optic with this crazy lineup, like Stanislaw showing that he can do it again.
Can we keep the eyes on Shazam this pistol round? He is very good with the P2K, and since that's my weapon, Shazib is my boy.
Which one do you use? Which skin?
I used Ocean Foam for a while, and now I don't even know what I'm using. Someone gave me some.
Wow. Look at all these P2000s.
Yeah, Shazam is just look. I'm telling you, bro. He somehow always gets like 3 on these pistols. Just give me a couple more. Watch him. Oh, oh.
Sean yesterday was saying that Shazam's pistoling is just
Yeah.
out of this world.
Maybe that's why I get it from. Like me and Sean used to play with him, and I've played against him online. He just always seems to get like 2 or 3 with his P2K.
Oh, that's a beautiful skin. You guys have got me on the skins as well.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Might have to pick one up and then
Is that
not
the
use
amber
it.
thing?
I was gonna say.
I need to buy 30 more pairs of shoes.
I've been banned from buying shoes now
By who?
by the woman.
Really?
She said if
took-
I buy another pair of shoes, she will smoke an entire pack of cigarettes. I have a keyboard in the post. Gabe's now the last man versus 2. Are those 2 P250s? Or are they P2000s?
P2000.
P2000s. The image is similar.
Slimmer.
Similar!
Slimila.
Marvellous. It just keeps getting better,
Oh,
doesn't it?
Big Jack in the building.
All this talking.
So, did you say I have a keyboard in the post, or was that the soundboard?
It's a soundboard.
Because
I
just don't know anymore. What's real? What is real?
I don't have a keyboard in the post, but I do have something in the post, but I can't remember what it's called. Hold on.
That was crazy. There were so many P2000s. It's amazing. Well, force buy from Optic, the double scouts. We saw such an insane, maybe the most insane scout buy I've ever seen on train recently from Luminosity on the CT
He
side.
was just talking about that.
It's-
Who was it?
Yeah,
Yell,
Dan. I was
or-
talking about it.
It was Yell and PKL, right?
PKL mainly, yeah. PKL 4K. What is this thing called? A loop. L-O-U-P-E.
I have something in the post.
What do you
Oh,
have?
what do you have in the post?
PC.
Oh, you have a PC in the post.
Yeah.
When is your PC due to arrive there?
It's supposed to be today,
Oh,
but I don't know where it is.
where is your PC? Where's Dan's PC? Send your tweets, send your opinions, your thoughts, your queries, your
What do you mean?
comments.
How do you lose?
Apparently it's been delivered.
How many places are there?
Where's it been delivered to? That's not here.
Hashtag find the PC.
I need the MAC address. MAC address.
9,
Speak of the devil, he shall appear.
9 to 7. 4 players. The CTs are rotating all over the place. I'm not really sure what's going on. They've banked 4 people in B. Now they're moving around to the back of the bomb trains to Old Bomb. 4 people around the bomb train itself, and the CTs will exit. We're going to see 10 people survive.
That is rare. It's very rare.
On train.
On train.
I don't know if I've seen this on train before.
Jordan, what is the craziest, most ridiculous, most stupid round you've ever seen in your life?
Craziest, most ridiculous.
Most stupid, most awful.
Man, you
It's
don't-
heinous.
I don't got that kind
Heinous
of memory.
is a great word, isn't it?
Let's see. So I don't know. The first thing that came to mind, just because we're watching Train, is I was in the WCG World Finals versus MCW in like 2009 in China.
Nice. Going back to 2009.
Yep, we're like a 1 versus 5. We planted the bomb inside Train. We just like got money back in our favor. We're on T-side Train. And we plant the bomb, and we literally cleared all of inner. But what happened is essentially what was flatbed now, which is tracks, you know. one of the guys on our team ducked behind the train, and then one of my teammates went to clear under the train and walked on his head and didn't feel that. He like actually walked on his head for a level, dropped off his head, cleared the other side of the train, jumped up on the train and cleared the other, and the other guy moved around the side of the train, and then we all left the site and he defused the bomb. They reset our economy, came back and beat us.
That is actually unreal.
There's been a lot of other ones, I'm sure.
Nice.
That just hit my mind right away.
Oh man, dredging up those sore memories.
Yeah, it was very sore.
That's that is
How about
rough.
yourself?
Oh well, I just saw this really ridiculous situation once when we were casting Oceanic ECS, which I bring up every so often, where I forget which two teams it was, but a T side with full buy took the A bomb site. The CTs had stacked the B bomb site with a full save of USPs, and they won. The CTs they had no kit, nothing. Just 5 USPs on the cash. They ran all the way from B to A against 5 rifles, full utility, and they had no kit, nothing, and they won the round.
That is pretty. That's.
I don't think anything beats
You'd
that. That's the biggest.
You could give me like, I would put like 100 grand on that.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
like not tease, 100 grand. Like give me like my quick 5%. You know.
Yeah, that was pretty magnificent. I think the
can
more
win
common
100%
ones.
of rounds in Counter-Strike by being the better team.
That is a misquote. They cut the first half of the sentence off. Turned it into something it is not.
That's the most amazing quote ever. It's hilarious.
Fallen might get caught off guard here, but Fur's got his back since 2012, baby. You're my leader, man. Don't let you die.
This looks pretty close actually for both teams. Makes it a bit awkward having the scouts, but Shazam is Diego the scary. Let's see if he can do something with it. Unfortunately not. Doesn't find the angle. It's down to Gade with the scouts. Ooh, nice headshot on the Fur. He's ruthless. Got the P2K out now, looking for that kill on the Fallen 4, and a couple of tags away from a death from it though, and he will get the kill eventually. And SK will win the round. That was a close one though. Optic did pretty well considering what they had.
My new nickname for Fallen is the Torpedo.
Yeah?
I feel like that would go well. Gabriel Toledo the Torpedo.
Nice.
He's a heat. Is that like what? Is there any like heat seeking to like an underwater missile or anything like? Because I feel like he's pretty accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing to do with water that I can think of as an analogy.
I think it might still be
But
better
he's
than.
explosive.
It's better than the Librarian, isn't it? No.
But shh. You have nothing to say. Yeah, that one.
Do you guys think it's a massive conspiracy that we have? So like Steel has stepped down from Liquids. Taco has joined Liquids. What happens to Steel now? What's going on?
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, he released a statement saying that he wasn't happy with his performances in and out of the game for Team Liquids. I don't know what out of the game means. I mean, it's like
Maybe
practice
he wasn't
or
showing up to practice super motivated.
I don't know. KGB just got shot by his teammate, ran in front of his crosshair. That's not a good start for him. But will it be a good start? No, it will be a bad finish as well. And there we go, there's the assist. So that's a problematic A site. There is some hope though, because Config is flanking. He's towards main now. I don't think in that exchange Cold Zero would have heard him. So he needs to find 2, however. 1 simply won't be enough. There is Falling, can tell his teammates. Don't do anything, that's the first one. Oh, he needed more, man. He needed more, and he's got more. 12 bullets, he's running distraction. He's almost taken Stewie down as well. He's got 5 bullets remaining. Stewie pops out. And Config's not ready for it. That leaves Gade alone, but he's made it winnable. Config, he's made it winnable. 1 versus 2, though. Gade does not have a defuse kit, so maybe it's not winnable after all. The AWP might be rescued, but it's round number 12 for SK.
Interesting repeat there by Stu.
Yeah,
That's Counter-Strike.
I
Do you think
never saw him winning that fight.
I'm not calling his peak online, but do you think he would have won that battle on LAN? Because I feel like the peaker's advantage, I don't even know what the pings they're playing with online, but I feel like once you get like around 50, 60, there definitely is a little bit more, very small of a peaker's advantage.
I guess like those Y peaks, like the Y peak that he did, obviously he dies to the first bullet, but then he's like, well, if I just have to hit my first bullet when I counter strafe, then I win the fight, I guess, because it is really difficult. But does he do it on LAN? I don't know.
Not even calling the play itself online.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he has not many other options, right?
I don't think he should. I think there's more focus on LAN from his opponent as well. But obviously it's harder to deal with.
Situational adrenaline.
I think on LAN he dies. Look at that. Perfect flashbang. Gade is forced away. He's shooed away. He's swept away. I actually saw, I was walking down the street yesterday and I saw directions in case of tsunami next to my barbershop on Main Street, which is very curious. Anyway.
Look at that molly. That was a neat molly. It threw it from the trash over T mid. It bleeds from the top of the train E-box, so the guy can't play the hidden off angle from E-box. Good ingenuity there from SK Gaming. My name's Jordan Nothing Gilbert. Thanks for tuning in.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to
Don't
forget to stay subscribed.
Don't
forget that if your Amazon is linked to your Twitch, you might have a free sub waiting. This is not Twitch. This is YouTube. I was talking about last stream.
Well done.
Is there paid subscriptions on YouTube?
I believe so. You can.
Yeah,
You can
support
do
channels, right?
super something when you in chat as well.
I think there is.
You should look into it. YouTube.com, Jordan.
/face it.
That as well, yeah.
I'm just saying that. I'm plugging things at this point. No, I can't stream it.
By the way,
Just stop talking, will you?
quick additional
Just
point about
stop.
the config Stewie duel
Yeah.
is config's crosshair placement was also like on the very lip of the doorway,
Rather than the
as
swag
a-
wide angle.
as opposed to a bit wider out. And that's like another thing to think about as well, because I guess like I don't know, like if I mean you'll have to tell me, Jordan, like do the top players think about like when you're doing wide peaks, like a super wide peak can abuse that kind of crosshair placement. So are you thinking about the kind of crosshair placement your opponent will be naturally using? Because if you're just doing like the jiggle peaking, that would be fantastic what config had, but because it was a wide peak, it was not the correct crosshair placement. So
I know people definitely think about it. I remember Stu in particular telling me that like certain players, he calls it the crosshair, the size 5 pre-aim. Because if you put the size 5 crosshair with 0 gap on the wall, that's how wide they're going to swing to the edge of it. So it's like, he would say, Brax, he's a size 5 pre-aimer, I just duck peek and like. And so like that was like a thing, you know, you just, you know, so.
That's
There
interesting.
is some combos going on, I don't know.
Yeah. That's actually a really interesting point. I think so many players play off intuition that it's hard to figure it out. But back into the round, 13-7 for SK, and they're setting up some pressure outside. Will they bait out some kind of grenades? They decide to run down the ramp to challenge. Gade ready. He ready. Cajun not as ready, but Gade still delivering the damage, the kills, and making the dollar bills.
And that is completely new to SK Gaming here. Very brief push from them and unsuccessful, but they still have a round lead to build upon.
Some
Optic
cash
playing the
monies.
catch-up game. Yes.
I feel like anytime SK is playing a team they're confident, really confident against, they always do these like bomb train smoke. Maybe it's just the last time I saw them play. They did the same thing versus teams I saw. I like 4 or 5 teams. They seem to just do bomb train smokes. Ivy hit bomb train smokes, outside hit bomb train smokes, and they're hit. I don't know if the pattern's still there anymore, but it seems like when they start playing like the top 5 teams, they start to really get into that default slow, like pick them apart style more. So I don't know.
I guess it's harder to counter-strike.
Could be completely false. Just speaking freely here.
So I guess that's what you're worrying about at that level. Like, how do we avoid the counter-strats? How do we remain unpredictable?
Yeah.
I suppose. Boltu.
Why are you looking at me for approval? I'm not a PM of Japan.
I was just wondering if you're gonna get in on
Attitude.
get in on the
You are
on the
the
thing.
seal of
Get it
approval.
on the bulk suit.
yeah.
Configure.
I miss the sweet corn soup in the vending machines of Japan. They're
I've
outstanding.
never been to Japan.
I
Ooh.
highly recommend it. That's
How
my
does
favorite
he
peak.
get that kill? Wouldn't Fallen just be holding the crack?
That is a good question.
Because people always are like, oh, it's a crack peak. It's insane. I don't know how they hit those reaction shots. It's actually very easy.
But he could be looking at the radar.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like, I'm definitely not criticizing Fallen's reaction time.
Especially on a map like Train, I think there's a fair chance.
Yeah.
You know. I share the same burden as Fallen, being a sniper who has to coordinate the team. So I often get killed by the radar. In fact, it's almost every kill time I die is because of the radar.
There's an amazing clip on your Mirage running into T-slope, and I think you can see that like you look straight up at the radar just as a guy that appears on your screen, but you run straight past him, and that was the clip. Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about that earlier because Fer did the most insane thing on B ramp, where Shazam was in the corner. Like as soon as you come down the ramp, he's just right there. And he just didn't see him at all.
Oh, really?
Went past him, shot the guy on the bomb train, and someone else told him, like, Fer, there's a guy right there. And he went
Yeah, you
back
could
and killed
tell
him.
he didn't see and someone had to tell him because
Yeah.
he's like, what? And like just looked around.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Cray.
Yeah, I didn't think about that timing. Must be looking at what my teammates are doing, because in that situation, you don't want your teammates to die. You want them to just fall back, hold an off angle for a CT push or something. But then they always die.
Yeah.
They always die in that situation. They never survive. 1 AK round now for SK Gaming as Optic look for double figures. 2 flashes and 1 smoke for the T side. They have started with their initial spread, and they will wait for these initial grenades, the granate of the SK Gaming side.
This is pretty easy for Stanislaw. I feel like...
Why did Stu not go down first there? Didn't Cold have the AK?
I don't know, but they did use a flash. I don't think it went low enough though. I think it was just shy
Yeah.
of the mark.
Yeah.
Just shy. Here's attempt number 3.
Looks so dry.
Ooh.
Hey, Vermont's
Stealing those kills.
Let's go grab those guns and ladder, boys. We're gonna run the long route. We're gonna have 1 inside. Could be pushed up. Fur's aware. Doesn't care. Long hair. If anything, he kind of plays to it. Like, hey, by the way, that guy might be hearing you by the stairs. They know we're down ladder, which means they're going to be queued in on outside, which means we're pretty much screwed if we go ladder. Let's fall back, so we have 45 seconds. You know they're going to be playing passive angles. There's a good chance there's going to be 1 bomb because they called that your ladder earlier. So now they're saying, okay, 1's probably near bomb train, so that's the Z guy in this case. And the other guy's kind of an unknown quantity. Could be hell, which is a common spot. I'm pretending I'm not looking at radar here. Just trying to think in their shoes. So,
I love shoes.
you know, yeah, we've established that. So the sound I don't like from Bolt here, because if the guy was hell, which is a common spot late round, back 6, he might have heard that. But maybe I'm just stupid, because it doesn't seem like he did. And the 2 versus 1, the XVX Masters here are showing me how to play.
Wow. Oh,
I love
the legs!
I love it. A lot of people don't know that
Oh,
black
boy.
part under does not exist. Under the train, it's
Wow.
actually non-existent. So not only can you spam it, you could also throw a flash and it goes right under the
Oh
train.
my god. It doesn't exist. It's like the Matrix, man. There is no spoon.
There's
There
a
is no...
singularity under the train.
There is no...
All of
Bottom
James's
up train.
shoes are under that train.
Wow.
Boom.
Well,
Binga banga bongo.
Optic Gaming finding a creative way to get the 10th round here.
That is impressive.
I love when Dan's about to talk, he's thinking, you start moving. And I know Dan's talking.
Moving. Grooving.
Yeah.
Moving.
That's
grooving.
like my cue to throw it when Diane starts moving, jerking his head back and forth. So yeah, he's gearing up to say English.
Words are about to come out of his mouth and go.
Gotta get into it. Gotta get the body into it. Nothing's happening though.
Ooh.
That's why you go to physio now.
Configure. The op kill. Stewie 2K trying to prove his worth here as the new member of SK, shooting bullets with his AK.
Do you think it's a great big Brazilian conspiracy? Eventually they'll be like, oh, you know, actually the whole like having to speak English thing won't work out. Steele's a free agent, gets Steele in there. Then there's like Stewie, free agent, Cloud9's weakened. That's the team. It's a Brazilian takeover. I don't know. Either way, it's great to see so much.
They go to boot camp in Brazil. They buy Stewie a one-way ticket to Brazil. They leave him there.
Whoa. Yeah.
Can't
This
get back.
is because of FNS.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that to our country.
No, it goes back to FNS.
And the scene is rejuvenated.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh, wow.
It is really interesting. The scene is so strange right now, but it's great to see overall from Brazil. Like that, like Luminosity. It's just it feels like they're on the cusp of sort of figuring it out. Basically, they have pretty much all the tools they need to be a really, really great team. So I feel like there's just some. I haven't watched them enough specifically, but they definitely have a consistency problem.
And then, well, yeah, and then the guys at, what was that, WSG or whatever, that beat at Cloud9, Team 1?
I don't know. I missed that.
Team 1, right?
Team 1, Brazilian team.
Yeah, I don't even know all their names.
Well,
so.
Were they just like a bunch of new Brazilian players? Or?
Not all of them.
No,
I
no,
think
I actually-
TRK, there's a couple of them I know for sure. Maluk.
I randomly commentated a game of, I think Team 1 playing. Fallen had this Brazilian tournament, and there was no English stream, so I was like, screw it, I'll do it. So I commentated some games, and I think they were one of the teams in there.
Dude, those guys know how to shoot. Like, it's not a joke. And I think a lot of them have a good idea for how to play the game. Obviously, they need that experience to really reinforce what they're experiencing. But nice one. That was sweet.
Twice. Look at those holes through the wall.
But yeah, the Brazilians, it's really cool to see their scene.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're so strong. They are strong.
Could he wall Fur right there?
I don't believe so. I haven't checked it, but it's pretty thick.
Oh, yeah, it's
It's kind of
config.
depressing. I used to spend like all day in 1.6 finding like every spam spot and nade spot. Now like people will show me a spam spot and they're like, oh, I thought you're the wall gun guy. Shouldn't you know? I'm like, I stopped trying.
Yes, config.
Do it.
I like
Try
it.
to shoot through it.
It's like it's around. They only got armors and CZs. They drop a smoke. He's gonna go forward
There's so
in front
many
of it.
targets, such
Love
a
it.
close choke point, and
Oh!
that was a nice one.
Oh. I'm disappointed now. But I love the fact that he's just like, because even though they had the smoke there, I feel like, oh my god.
Give it to me.
Even though they had the smoke like in a behind config because they threw one in front to try to be able to work their way closer, and like the config could have let them do that and stuff, and like just play the contain game, just play the ops against these guys. Like they would have been so fine. But I just love that he just wants to get in there and kill everyone. Probably not the most consistent choice. We were talking about consistency earlier. In fact, it is not the most consistent choice, but it's the most entertaining one.
And
So
that's all
I
we're here
approve.
for.
I approve. Okay, well, consistent approach does not always win you tournaments as well. That's another thing to think about. Could take some crazy risks sometimes, do some unorthodox stuff.
Circa. Fanatic.
Yep, exactly. And also Astralis, when they were very, very consistent, always getting top fours. Perhaps that was the reason why they never got the big title as well. Play too correct all the time. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, I guess to add to that while we're watching here, I don't know if you want to get some play-by-play, and I was just going to say, really quick anecdotal thing is, yeah, whenever you're playing at a like lower tier 2 level, tier 3 level for me, and I see the big executes from teams, it's always easier to play against those guys, even though the strat in theory might be cover all bases on their end. There's actually a lot of gaps that they're not thinking of if you just go outside the norm of what they're expecting, and you ended up getting like an easy 2 kill or something because they just didn't expect the aggression hit one spot. But
yeah.
Look at these
enough
smokes.
of that, as we're going to see SK with 3 guys ready to explode out ladder. Dan teaching me how to play-by-play here.
Yeah, James.
As Cajun B is close up in the smoke, 3 guys coming out, not expecting it. He might only get 1 though, as they now know where he's at, and he has multiple angles to look at. But it's going to trade back and forth, 3 versus 3 situation. Cole's not sure where he's getting shot from. Stu gets the info, but not in time to save him. 2 versus 3 in a very winnable round, as they're going to try to back off from the train without getting killed. But no, they opt to stay and fight and say, we're ready.
Ready. Shazam ready. Shazam in there. Shazam 21 and 16, looking to make that 22 as he's got 1 player left to find Stewie. It's made itself scarce. And that is a problem on this bomb site. This bomb site is so hard. Where the hell has he gone? It's so impossibly difficult on this bomb site to work out where the hell people go. And Stewie is now working top of the trains. Oh! That was some damage. Shazam might very well get the kill. Indeed he will. But unfortunately for him, the round is dead. It's gone. It's lost. It's SK's. And they are 2 away from victory here on train. I gotta say, if Optic were to do well in the season, that would be very surprising. But I could see it happening at the same time because, like, they are quite impressive. They're pretty damn good. Every time I watch them play, I've been impressed by the structure of the game.
Do we have any NRG in this? Is there any NRG matches? Are they
In the coming
ECS?
days, I couldn't tell you, but they don't have that many
That's another team.
games left. Yeah, they've
So
been
good.
menacing. They went like 12 and 0, if not 13.
Yeah, 13 and 0.
Crazy, yeah. They've only just lost 1 map. Big fight here on the A side. So Shazam tries to defend the bomb train. Targets high, targets low. He will tag one of them though. 4 and 5. All the SK Gaming players still intact. But Shazam is in great need of help. Trying to flick the A-box player. Trying to stop the plant, but he can't, and everyone's dead. At the same time, it looks like it's going to be match point for SK, the first of 4 North American matches today.
Well, this is rather hopeless. Yeah, NRG have been incredible. They are the breakout team of the year, as far as I'm concerned already. Like, I feel like the tournament, the deep tournament, offline tournament result is inevitable for them. They just look so good.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I haven't watched him as much as I would have last season. I haven't been watching as much of the CS in general right now. But when I have watched NRG, it seems like the way they're winning isn't too flaky. They had Fugly calling, and I don't know if he's still calling, and he might be. And that alone, whether he's second calling or main calling, helps Daps a lot, who I know was struggling carrying the weight of the team on his shoulders.
Yeah, yeah.
And wanted to get a little bit more in the mix. So,
That's
and then
actually
Cirque is
impressive.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
On top of all that, so
Honestly, Daps has been really amazing on NRG. I've been very, very impressed.
yeah.
There's a quick push into the B bomb site. SK going explosive. They want to finish this one off fast, and it looks like they may very well be able to do so. Although, bit of resistance now coming out the connected position. Cajun B left alone. What can Renee do?
Boom.
Well, he gets wrecked by Cold Zero, as many have and many will in time
Continue to
come.
do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. SK winning train. I
Look
think
at
it's
this right here.
Mirage,
This is
so I
it.
can't
See,
remember,
he didn't see
actually.
the guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. 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 It's definitely worse than anything I've ever done, ever.
We'll see when my Road to Global comes out. We'll see on that.
Yeah, we will.
Nice. Are you global already, Jordan?
No, I'm
Okay.
LEM.
LEM. Nice.
I was global, and then they did the whole thing. Like, what was that? A couple years ago, they reset ranks, and I never played.
Yeah, it always happens to me. I never play matchmaking. Everyone's like, what's your rank? It's like, well, don't really play much. Anyway, 16 to 12, we can see the final score for having quite the game. And Optic, I mean, Jordan, you know, again, Optic to me, it's a very interesting team. We have Stanislaw in a spot where he can, you know, let loose again. You know, on Liquid, he wasn't able to do that. You feeling happy with, you know, how the team looks from what the limited amount that you've seen of them?
Well, yeah, I think there's like a lot of wild cards. So I heard when I first heard about Gade, I heard he had like kind of config aim, which I was like, oh, that's cool for them. But this team seems kind of hodgepodge. Like, what's their direction? And they needed an in-game leader like Stanislaw. I think if they had anyone less decisive with their style as an in-game leader, this would fall apart very fast. So it's cool to see Stanislaw bringing that together, and I'm curious to see Shazam is someone who's maybe failed to realize his full potential. He's had big matches for Misfits in the past and Echo Fox, but you know, never really been able to convert that too big. So I'm curious to see what this international lineup, if Shazam's going to start popping off, Stanislaw is going to lead them, and as you can see there, they have a structure with their CT side. Like, are they going to be able to just lock things down? So I'm not sure yet.
Maybe the next map will tell us. That's Mirage. That's
Yep.
after the break. We'll see you back here shortly.
Hey, kid.
Me?
Yes, you. How would you like to win some Face-It points?
Face-It points? What are those?
Face-It points are points you can collect playing on Face-It or watching ECS. You can redeem those points to get items such as new skins, hardware, computer chairs, or a new car.
A new car? That sounds like the bee's knees.
It sure is, Timmy. Now run on home and start earning those points. Heya, Billy.
Whoa, holy mackerel, mister, you scared the jeepers out of me.
How would you like to win some Face-It points?
Face-It points? I sure would.
Well, just make sure you connect your YouTube account and Face-It account and you'll be right as rain.
Can I earn them without linking accounts?
No can do, Billy. You'll have to link both accounts, but don't worry, linking them is easy as pie.
Gee willikers, mister, thanks.
No problem, Billy.
This season of ECS, we are giving away 30 million Face-It points, so make sure your YouTube account is connected to your Face-It account.
If you're a fan of crutches, then get your hands on this. But now let's focus on an even greater product, Taser.com, a competitive gaming platform.
Wow, James, that sure sounds amazing.
It is amazing, Dan. On Taser, you can find the toughest dudes in the galaxy.
I heard it's got all these great features for real gaming.
Yes, it has, Dan. Like a voice communication system. Just post one to your friends.
Wow, James, that sure is cutting-edge technology.
Radios must be within a 10-metre straight line with clear line of sight and sunny weather with no wind.
Do you
keep getting wrecked by hacker noobs online. Introducing new Taser security system.
Wow, it's so lightweight. Feels like there's nothing inside.
That's correct, Dan, but there's more.
Behavioral index to keep you from playing with idiots. An easy way to send in your results. Multiple game titles. And here you can see a happy customer.
It's great!
If you sign up within the next 4 minutes, you will get these items for free. James White's best Christmas songs. Watermelon signed by Dan Black.
Fan är det här?
It is time for Mirage. Oh, you two.
Oh yeah, we could swap. Do you want to do? Should we swap seats?
Let me grab all my things, my purse.
Bum, ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-bum. Don't forget your water.
Okay, this is so awkward. Oh my god.
Ah, normality.
I'm uncomfortable.
Would you like your water?
Did I get that H2O there?
There you go.
Marvelous.
Stay hydrated, ladies and gents.
Do you have in my chat when I'm streaming? I got a hydration bot.
That is awesome.
It tells me how much water I should have drink by that point.
And how many times do you defy it?
Yeah, every day I'm just wrong.
Yeah.
I had an entry in my calendar every day that said "Drink water, you bitch," every single day, because I always just didn't think about it, you know, or I'd drink something other than water. So, but then I had to remove it from my diary because I didn't know what day I actually had things to do because every single day had a dot in it. So, so now I'm dehydrated all the time.
Oh, it's like a digital one, or?
Yeah, my phone calendar. Yeah, because you get the pop-up reminder. You know, always have it with you.
Good.
So.
No, you can get some other form. Like I'm part of a Steam group for Carpal Tunnel. So every hour, the Steam group gives you an alert to stretch. So while you're playing CS, normally at least once a game, I'll see the alert stretch. I'm like, oh,
that's
keep
really
the arm
cool.
extended. Don't ever bend your arm when you're trying to do some forearm stretches. You know, just sit on them, you know, just the nice lockout when you're doing it. The thumb across, you know, point downs for up here. The ones for up, you know, bottom. This is the bottom, you know, all the different things.
I get it here. Like if I play for 8 hours in a row.
That's the carpal tunnel-ish route. The carpal tunnel is when you're feeling it through the bottom, and if you're getting like a tendonitis or an RSI, it's normally through the top. Tendonitis can come through the bottom, but there's much more, like the nerves come through your elbow. So a lot of times, if it's just like tendonitis and inflammation, you feel it through up here more. If it's carpal tunnel, you'll feel it through up there.
You can get surgery for carpal tunnel, right?
Yeah, which sucks because sometimes you don't get your full grip back. So
I don't want to have surgery.
I just don't want, the thing that sucks is if someone got surgery, but it was just like tendonitis. And I literally had one doctor tell me it was carpal tunnel, and then like the other 4 tell me it was like an RSI tendonitis.
Yeah.
Shoo.
I have some occasionally some elbow underneath the elbow stuff I get as well, which I guess is tendonitis. But
because isn't it that the tendonitis, the inflammation causes like additional pressure, and that it's like the pressure change or something that then causes the carpal tunnel.
Causes weakness. Oh, well, that could also be a cause of carpal tunnel. I know, like, the tunnel is like a small actual tunnel through here, right? And forget about the game. Alt tab to some medical journals.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but one quick note: if you're ever experiencing any of those symptoms, just chill out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just like because
it
can start as tendonitis and it can go away if you chill out. But if you keep pushing through it, you can make it worse, a lot worse, and you might go past the point of no return. So, wow. Speaking of point of no return, SK Gaming, they be hitting those headshots. Optic not getting the bomb down just yet. It's really awkward when you're on this side. Oh yeah, nice. Don't know what those noises
were.
I haven't heard those before. And I've commentated with you for years now. It's good we can keep surprising each other.
Yeah.
Stanislaw has the bomb and he is leaving this place. But Stewie might be close enough to hear him, perhaps. He could have an angle into the entrance to Biaps. No, he's definitely heard him because he's holding the off angle now. And off he goes, Stanislaw. Off he goes. What the hell? Off he goes into the B-bomb site.
What's new? I didn't see it. Oh.
We could you two
can
discuss that.
I can't reach that.
36 seconds and Stanislaw almost feels like he might have been detected here. What's he going to do though? Oh, hello Box. Down to 2 HP. Look at the HP on these players. They've got to play the clock. Stanislaw continues to push this. No return for Bolts, the pre-fight, but Stewie's made his way onto the site. There's 10 seconds now, and surely he goes for the plant immediately. And Stewie's there to punish, to capitalize, to exploit.
Yeah, I guess that's one problem. Like, if the other guy's not playing like trade fragging situation, you go for the plant. That's the potential downside of that play, but it's a good defense initially from Cole. It's not so easy when all the Glocks are running at you to connect those headshots, but
Gotta choose one target for starters.
Yeah. Hang on. Optic did not get the bomb down, right?
Nope.
They're full ecoing here.
I don't think they did, yeah.
Interesting. So are they going to force fight next round? Let's get some Khalils and so on. What is the meaning of this? Ooh, that bomb plant was so important. Yeah, that would have really been huge. I mean, look at their money. I mean, this is really interesting. Are they going to do another full save?
Do you look at the team money stat a lot? I haven't.
Not really.
I never am used to that. So I'm curious if like you could just look at that right away.
On rare occasion, I only look at it towards the end of a round. Like if 2 people are alive, it's interesting to see what the value of what they have is. So it seems it'll be the second round's eco buy as opposed to, sorry, the third round eco buy as opposed to the second round full buy. Which I think, was it Sean talking about this yesterday? About certain teams doing the third round buy instead of the second round buy to catch people off guard, and I mean maybe it was inspiring.
But I do think with that though it's really obvious because it's very easy to see if your opponents have, like if you don't see a CZ or a P250 or like you kind of know when you're shooting at someone and they have armor or not. You kind of just know.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you don't see that buy, but you know that there was no bomb plant, you're so suspicious now, and that you should cause a team to play very passively in a round like this to instead of rushing into anything. So I do wonder about it. I don't know. What do you think, Jordan?
I was thinking about something completely separate.
Okay. What was that? Was it?
I'm watching what's happening, so I'm not even paying attention to what you guys are saying. What's the question?
We were just saying that. Essentially, from my perspective, it seems very, very telegraphed that maybe there'll be a third round buy. So it's not really a surprise because they didn't buy the second round, but they got the bomb down. They didn't get the bomb down in the first round. So then SK are going to see that and they're going to be like, well, either you're going to do a surprise buy, which is not actually a surprise because we're expecting it, or you're just double saving. So do you... Yeah,
I mean, either way, I was surprised Fallen chose to play close on the balcony. Maybe he was assuming they bought with that type of position. That leads me to believe that. But generally there, you can just play passive kind of standard setup and be fine. So it doesn't, the speculation doesn't really matter at that point.
Just wondering if it's worth it. But quick top mid take anyway. That's a good nade there from Fur, I believe it was. And
yeah, really strong nade.
And Optic are just chilling with their top mid control at the moment. Or they try to go further on mids.
So is this a big positional change then for Fur to be a cat player? Because obviously that was always Coldzera's thing. So I wonder if this is just the nature of like them having all M4s, or what would be really cool is if Stu asked for a flash right there, but he probably would have got one and died, so maybe not so cool. And then a quick note while they're going up cat, watch how, well, they're going to actually split A here, so I'm not going to get to make my point. So I'm going to hold off on that one.
Good
Bosh.
Peek. Wow, the timing from SK is very good here. Look how Optic were not even allowed to split. They're just getting picked apart before they can even enter the choke points. They cannot combine their forces. Nice! But still, it's not going to be worth too much there from Shazam. SK, I mean, there's, I guess, 2 ways you can look at it. Either SK were just very, very smart on their read and their timing, or you can say Optic were too slow. I think it would be the former, to be honest.
I don't know, SK didn't really move that whole half. So I think if they just traded on Stu there, at least then they might have been able to get in the sight, but it was just kind of broken apart.
Fallen had a really good initial pick in pits.
Well then, Optic Gaming need to get the bomb down for show. 3 smokes. 2 lined up towards the jungle connector area. Maybe even a third, who knows? 1, 2, 3. There's the CT smoke from config. My config is read-only. I'll explain why in a second. Smoke's being deployed deep and the push is coming in. The Molotov is too late, unfortunately, for the CTs. The Ts will not be contained. They will spread very quickly indeed. Cold, can he get more than one out of this? No. Fallen picking off plays in the meantime from CT. And a bomb plant looks very unlikely. Cage and B around Sandwich. Players moving through the smoke and the bench. Double peak, basically. And SK are 5-0. Clean sheets.
Yeah.
What's your explanation?
Oh, my read-only config. Well, one of the reasons is because when I'm playing a game that isn't a competitive CS, so when you die and it tells you how much damage you've done, there's a command to print it in the top left corner of the screen, so you don't have to press console. But when my config isn't read-only, when I quit the game, it messes that up for some reason, like turning developer 1 on and stuff like that. So that's one reason. And some other obscure things used to mess up in my config as well, so I made it read-only.
Little positional change here from SK as Bolts is going to be at A. Tollbooth following with the Op is going to be over there at the jungle. Are they going to expect Cold? No, they're not, but they're still going to get the frag here and put it into a 5-on-3, potentially a 5-on-2 soon if Stu isn't careful. I think that Bolts must have got caught off guard because the play there is for him to get spotted and then flash for Cold and then start fighting with Stu, and then Cold will get to shoot him in the side.
I think Stan has been giving the runaround to Fur for quite some time. Look who Stan is. It's so weird. It's like a completely different, like both Stan and Fur sort of reacting just to like a completely different rounds. Just very, very odd.
Fur somehow always finding his way into the other team's base. It's pretty uncanny, actually.
Yeah, you may very well get some kills here. There's one. It's very fast. Dodges the orb shot from the Palace position. Can he stay alive? That would be remarkable. Do they want to challenge him? My God, he's actually going to stay alive in this position. I respect the spray there to cover him as the timer runs out. 5-1, Optic picking up their first round, but they need to do better than that. They got to string some rounds together. SK's economy is still okay. Oh, Fur's got the Howl. He's got that contraband. Howl is a contraband, right? Contraband
It is,
one.
yes,
Okay.
it's contraband. Yes, it is. It continues to rise in price.
How much is it now?
Well, I bought one for $7-ish hundred. I sold it for, I think, $1,100, and I think now it's at least $1,500.
Nice.
So, it gets rarer and rarer. Some people who buy it and get banned for whatever reason as well. So they become even more sparse. Stanislaw traded towards the B bomb site. The only man there, Fallen, moving towards the B bomb site just in case, but I think Fur's brave enough to have a look and see that no one else appears to be in the vicinity. Stewie holding a line in the crack of the wall. Just while there's a double peek next to him, he must have heard the footsteps falling off, but Shazam saves the day, saves the bacon.
Covering his teammate. It's always a good feeling. You know you got your back covered. And Cold Zero is alone. He's isolated. He's got to do something pretty special to survive in this position. I think a couple kills would go a very long way, so that's perhaps maybe the best case. We'll see. He actually gets a really clean 1v1. Able to stay alive though past that, but it's Fur with excellent adjustment to the player up in the Palace position. Almost a 90-degree flick there. Looks so calm and confident. Fur with a quad kill. This guy is just way too good at this game.
He's got that real confidence and almost like, you know how you fake it till you make it confidence. Like, in both scenarios, anytime I watch him when he does something, even if I'm like, oh, this is not a smart play, like, somehow the fact that he's so committed to every time he does it, it always seems to, like, kind of work out in his favor a little bit more than you expected. Even when it doesn't go fully as planned, he'll get, like, a dink off or get a little extra damage in or get a kill he shouldn't. And
he's sneaky.
Ever since he came onto the scene. He was right when they first came to North America. I was like, I remember scrimming them when they were at Games Academy and like, kind of just like popping my head back in my chair when I remember scrimming Overpass where he just was like annihilating us. But like, yeah. Anyways, not enough good things to say.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. It's been pretty impressive watching his performances. He's a very special player. That's another reason why I love Counter-Strike, you know, at the professional level, like the way the skill ceiling is mechanically and otherwise, decision making too. You actually, it allows for a lot of diversity between players and styles, and Fur is a thing of by himself, as are many of the very top players, and that's so good to see. If you can't differentiate between the pros, kind of sucks, I think, to watch, but thankfully we don't have to worry about that in Counter-Strike. But enough about that, we do have a push into A being set up. Optic with the set piece.
Oh, a little too high on the molly, but it's not going to worry. But if it doesn't hit, that is going to cause them to be a little bit more concerned about default. Cold Zero with the unique spot here, getting flashed last second.
Fallen again. Search. Oh my God! Seriously, dude. Seriously, That's absolutely ridiculous. Anything that moves on the screen is swatted. Shazam taking big damage. Slowly, Bolts makes his way towards CT. Slowly, Stewie moves up the ramp.
Doing his best fur impression as he plays the ramp. But unnecessary. His bullet gets the final 2. Dude, yeah, Fallen. Wow. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow,
he is like Kenny S is probably the only person I see do as much. Like Guardian, obviously one of the most impactful operators in the world. There's other operators as well that are super impactful. But like Fallen, Kenny, I don't know, like they just literally anything appears on the screen and it looks like they're not ready and they somehow.
The crazy thing too is that, you know, the way the set piece works is supposed to really deny any position on the site, and obviously there was one missed Molotov, but the timing was delayed ever so. I think the timing of the push was a little bit too delayed, and a Cold did miss his fragging opportunity. So then, you know, Fallen is trying to commit himself with Cold to try to get frags to stop the push, because otherwise, you know, they would commit to a retake setup. It's something I really like about SK. You don't tend to see stuff that doesn't really make sense. If you see someone in the position, it just makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's on the same page. They're thinking about we're going to defend the A push as it comes in as opposed to going for a retake. Which, by the way, they're probably the best team, one of the best teams in the world at as well. Like retaking A on this map, they're so good at it.
So patient and use their nades. And that's what we were talking about, like using your nades properly for retake. They're like the perfect clinic usually.
Yeah.
When you watch them use their nades, it's so calculated. And
it's so scary to actually try to like run a set piece like straight away at the start of the round against them when they have those full grenades. But
it's funny because I think one of the only reasons we ever had success versus them on Mirage was because we just studied everything they did and literally copied it. And so when I was lurking T-side versus Fur, I would like camp TV room as my team's taking out A. And then I would just like hear him push mid or like catch him pushing upper B. But like that was the only team I did that versus because it's just like we had studied him so much. If you're not aware, he's the guy. Fur's doing some flank later than anyone ever would.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Fallen's holding some angle that you would never expect, so you jiggle it for info, and he just hits the op shot. It was amazing.
Ooh, goodbye.
It's a good pick by Shazam there to abuse a normal-looking strat.
1-3-1 for the T's at the moment. Presence towards Palace and towards B apartments. Config taken out by Connector. Standard position for the T's, expected of the by the CTs rather. Always interesting to see the approach on A. Fallen keeping an eye on Palace. Nobody with him to cover the ramp. And limited exposure to Connector for the CT, so maybe Fallen getting aggressive so he has more information and is in a relatively safer position. And that forward position can allow SK to be closer towards the B bomb site. They've got 2 players in the ladder room. Can they get around to B fast enough? Bolts is on his own, and he may have quite late information because of the position he's playing. Unless he gets cues from some grenades. Here comes the charge. Immediately out is Stanislaw. Look at that jump. That's crazy. But they don't know how many people are here. And will they even go for this? 3 versus 4. Seems a boost is in order, but surely KGB trades worst case scenario.
So yeah, just some exits for SK. This one for Colt. Pretty clean. Now first turn. I mean, they're looking for it, surely. Ooh, Gate still almost lost that fight. Big advantage on for him, but we'll see that, you know, they'll only get 1 frag in the end. That's an okay result. That said, Cold is still lurking around. See if we can catch someone. He won't find anyone though. So round will go to Optic and 2 rounds. A mere 2 rounds. Stewie is so scary as a player. I feel like it's going to be really interesting to follow him in this team. It's still getting used to it. It's kind of very strange still.
Well, I mean, yeah. Jordan was saying it's surreal. He's kind of like a spy, considering they would marvel at the thought process of SK. Now he's kind of in there as part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a Russian spy with a polonium 210. Another execute into the B bomb site, intending to be a fast one, but maybe they've got to respect the Molotov.
What is that?
That is ridiculous.
What is that?
That was his own Molotov.
Yeah, but it was upstairs, apart from that little corner, exactly where he was standing.
Yeah.
If he took 1 step, he would have been out of any part of his Molotov. That is very bizarre.
What?
And he's got to be annoyed with that. It was such a small area.
Should we have a replay of that? That Molly? Let's get a replay of that if you can. No, okay, maybe not. Oh, like, okay, they couldn't see it. Okay, that's fine. Didn't want to see it anyway. That was really weird though. It's like just like one tiny patch.
That's like there's an admin on the server who just put some kind of
yeah.
You could say this player is going to explode in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's that kind of thing. That was crazy, man.
It's so strange. I do wonder how the round would have played out. It's so weird. It's like an act of God. Divine intervention to give Optic a helping hand in taking the B bomb site. And 3 rounds on the board now for them. They are starting to get the ball rolling, but SK, they still got some buys. They still got the double orbs, most importantly. I'm curious whether SK will mix things up from an aggression perspective, but with the double orbs, maybe that's not too likely.
Stu's always loved opping near connector. Fallen looks like he's doing that right now. Stu's taking a little pick hauls and Shazam a little too ready for that. It looks like Shazam might have hit a little like B-hop or something. He landed pretty smooth. See, like those flashes, I don't know. I guess it's not terrible. I feel like sometimes those flashes though, like if I'm cold, it kind of tells me it could be falling back, but I guess it doesn't matter if they don't straight to a B hit.
And Bolts will toss in the counter grenades to try to slow down the rush, but Optic Gaming are deterred.
Oh, that was weird.
Am I going crazy? Did I just hear Rick Astley?
What?
I just heard in my earphones.
No, I didn't hear it.
No.
You're being Rick rolled
Someone Rick
by your soul.
You stopped staring at me.
There it is again. Why am I getting trolled? What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know, Dan.
Let's keep hearing.
Coldzera and Fur are leaving the B area. And that's going to be round number 4 for Optic Gaming. So it seems they are on the comeback. I'm sitting on all my cables. I'm going to remove this. This is a pain. Okay, there we go. Just get rid of this stuff.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious, yeah. Ricassio's playing my headphones.
I don't know.
Someone knows. Everyone's acting like they don't know, but one person must know. I'm paranoid now. I'm looking behind me.
Both teams are on the buy. There's a tactical timeout here from SK Gaming. They've got lots of money in the bank, but how do they get back to winning ways? That is the question. Second AWP, that might be the answer.
Oh man. So it's going to be interesting to see whether SK will actually do anything different here to put the pressure on Optic. So far, I think they've been pretty happy to play passive. But here it is. Get the mid push. This is what I'm after. So Stewie's going to be up there with the rifle. Just boys go all the way in. Or maybe not. In fact, Colt, I thought he was... That was strange. It seemed like...
I don't know why, if he quick switched because he thought he was going to run away, but if he kept his gun out, yeah, something happened. A little miscomm.
Like his teammate committed to the peak, and he was supposed to have the spacing to follow, but then he just turned
away. He
away.
got blind. He got blind by the first flash, and I think he thought the flash was going to last longer than it did.
Oh.
So he was just like, all right, I'm going to run away blind. Then he got unblind, and then he's like, I'm going to do this, but then he doesn't sure if his team's fighting, so he doesn't want to overcommit. And
right.
I think he was just kind of like awkward.
Well, it's now down to this 2 orbs and an M4 here for SK Gaming as Optic charge up the B catwalk, and Bolts is going to be in a great position and combined with Fur, they may be able to hold this. Really good work from Fur so far, finding a headshot no less onto Shazam with the AWP, but someone snuck past. Stanislaw has made it through onto the bomb site and takes down Fur, leaving Fallen. The 1v2 is doable. I mean, yet to go down, in fact. You can see Fallen knows he has a lot of time. He doesn't have to rush this.
Ooh, this might be a long rotation. Well, it's a gamble.
He's kind of playing slow just for that 1 kill, because if you can catch someone then you can kind of get wild with your movement and just make jumps and hope that they kind of like don't headshot you instantly and you can get the second one. But
oh, they lined up for him. Does he realize? Does he realize? Oh my God! But he still doesn't have a kit. He needs to find a kit. I think there's a kit on the floor actually, right to his left. Oh my God! That would have been ridiculous.
Oh my God. That's like the one way that's like one of the few ways he wins the round.
yeah,
That's insane. It's insane that they that he actually got like a leg on the second guy. In fact, they didn't just get a collateral.
I guess they, yeah.
What?
yeah.
What? The guy in front. No, no.
I guess the first guy.
I don't think it was a leg. I think he just straight up.
But yeah, it was a torso, and the first guy got hit first.
Maybe
Didn't die.
Did
The
he
guy
hit him like
behind
the
him died.
elbow? Is there elbow damage in this game?
What is that?
Maybe it clipped the wall or something, or.
Weird.
Maybe.
Well, Cajun B is going to be able to open things up towards the A-bomb site, but that leads them into Fur, who's been having a great time with the AWP, so that's going to send them all the way back. Very quick 3v3 in this round. And, like, where is the money again for these teams? Is this a 2-for-1? No. Okay. So, well, for SK, they're quite poor. Optic can definitely take a hit and still be able to buy into that final round. This is pretty rough for the CT side, because you sort of have to spread out passively like this or take a really big risk and go for a push. Other solution is to stack somewhere, and I imagine you would stack B if that was a choice that you wanted to make, but they are just having a 1-1-1 setup here. Play for information. Let's see how it goes for SK. 35 seconds.
I like this because that smoke at top connector dictates like a B hit, but they're in a position to creep through A smoke, so they're just kind of pinching A with that smoke. Like normally you would think that you have to go cat or some weird. What? Didn't?
He's still moving. Still moving, but he's seen the bomb surely. Forest Nation coming in. Oh, he was close to it, but not quite. 10 seconds to plant this bomb, and Cold Zero maybe the king piece. Nope, he'll be taken out.
Wonder if he meant to jump right there.
Bomb has been planted. Bolt's inferior weaponry. Does Gage choose to face? Hiding behind default towards Shadow.
He saw his shadow too. I don't know if he realized.
Surprised he didn't pick up the AK and just try to like outdraw his opponent, but I guess the MP9 does allow you to get close to the crates. Maybe it's...
Yeah, well, I think when you get blind too, that creates a sense of like maybe he's close triple now, maybe he's close left. And if you get caught trying to swap weapons right there by the toll booth, you get tagged up to the box or something. A new top mid smoke.
Last
Another
round
one
of the
those
first half.
Flashes.
Pardon?
No, Shazam's thrown a couple just random flashes like that towards A ramp, which Shazzy's my boy, but I'm just curious why he flashes. Maybe it replicates something they do on a default. I don't know. Just seems like a waste of a flash, but love you, Shaz.
Walking up the short position, having heard nothing. Oh, he sees a foot, he sees an arm. Could fall back enough for KGB to be unable to trade.
Like
First
so
shows
like,
us there are more tricks up his sleeve.
He's nuts. Absolutely crazy. Just pushing catwalk with the AWP.
The best part is that like Fallen's rifling like aggro palace, like a Fur style play. Fur's opping off cat like Cold's toll booth or B, and I don't even know what Cold is. Yeah, toll booth. Like everything we know about SK is getting flipped on its head right now.
And that will be to their advantage in the long term. Struggling to prepare for SK is struggling to win a match for sure. Stanislaw ringing the bell of bolts now. 2 versus 3 as they try to cross to the site. Cold Zero spots one. He knows he's still over there. Perhaps he can try for some erratic timing, spraying through the smoke, although of course he can be punished even more. Fur continues with the AWP, and he knows the last player isn't too far away. 9-6 in favor of SK Gaming. Got a crucial pistol round coming up now.
I mean, Optic are doing pretty well, all things considered. I honestly, like, imagine having to deal with this in almost every round. Just, you know, Fur just taking these crazy pushes all over the place, and he's just so damn good.
I think Agent B thought he was in connector, the way he was facing.
I guess that would be sort of, I guess, the first place you would expect. Okay, well, this is pretty standard here. No one P250ing though. I'm sad on this T side, that is. Oh, whoa, okay. 3 men jumping into the underpass.
Yes, you don't see that very often. It obscures your vision.
Is that I just see like an accidental run boost or something. Why was Fur like flying through the air? Shazam! What did we say? Somehow he's just nuts. Oh, dude, I thought he was gonna get that one for sure. But he's so steady with the pistols.
Well, now it's Stewie's 2K's turn. 3 targets for him, but he won't get anything done as CTs are going nuclear in this round. SK, Cold Zero versus 3 more players. The bomb is on A. Steve Stanislaw wants to creep through the crawl space. Ooh, nice, but surely this can't be done.
A piss around after all, it's Cold Zero, but no, he does get denied. And Optic will win a very critical pistol. But SK, will they do a crazy full save into sort of a weird half buy, or are they going to go force buy as per the usual? Looks like that will be the case. We get the scout outs, pistol armor. No one's saving any cash there for SK. And that on the T side is absolutely A-okay.
The Molotov in the window is really cool. You very rarely see that these days in a professional match. I suppose it will allow you to charge through mid faster than a smoke grenades. You could, if you wanted to make a cat play into B, you could bounce a flash off the back wall, so if somebody was holding the angle towards ladder room, they would be blind as well. Optic trying to hold things down here on the A site. The bomb's being picked up on the ramp, and Cold Zero's in the underpass for the time being, but the bomb's moving away from A, which is very curious indeed. It may be a joint effort in the middle area, but where will they ultimately end up? Bolts is still lurking in the palace position for now, where there are 3 CTs and a passive position for config. In case the rotation is needed, we can see these Optic players are heavily tagged, which might have something to do with it.
Yeah, there's 3 players that will die from a single deagle chest shot, so that's actually so scary. SK Gaming are in an amazing position, and Fallen's actually moving into the B-bomb side. There is a player in the shop. I think that's the only healthy is that?
Yep.
Yeah, oh no, Stanislaw, I think, no? And now also Config is moving in there as well. Stanislaw will get the kill. Bolts, though, opens things up towards the A side, but they must have spotted the bomb towards B. Indeed, they have. They start to rotate. Cold Zero might be able to catch one. Oh! The only healthy player shot straight in the dome. Now Cold Zero can start to press on the shot position with the aid of Bolts as they move. They must move very quickly. There's so little time. Jumping around the corner with the M4 gets the headshot, no less. Stanislaw hiding desperately, praying that they don't have time to plant the bomb. And it is being collected. 7-6 should be enough time, just about to get it down, but the spray was really nicely done by Stanislaw there. It's not easy with the FAMAS, but he makes it work.
Still, keeping only 1 guy alive there was good job by SK. You know, now it's going to go 9-all, but going into the next couple gun rounds, if SK is able to get the gun round, Optic's money is not going to be in a great place. For now, time to farm some ecos.
Bosh.
Bish bosh?
Bish bash bosh, actually.
Bish bash bosh. Time to collect the dosh.
No grenades for these Ts. 1 CZ and 4 Glocks. That buy sucks. Even if you threw your Glock away at the end of the last round, you get 1 for free. Although if you threw it away at the beginning of the round and wanted to buy 1, it would cost you $200. $200.
Greenbacks.
What does one talk about while we wait for this action to happen?
Who's going to get the fat stacks as SK push up the pit position?
Fat stacks in the rib shack. Fat Stacks and Fat Matt's Rib Shack, which is in Atlanta. Jason Lake recommended I go there. I still haven't been there.
I still want to dive that aquarium.
Maybe opportunities in the future, Jordan. Jordan Gilbert.
Ah, it's Cajun B. Just getting all the Fat Stacks.
In a Rib Shack.
At the greenbacks.
With Fat
Click
Matt.
clack.
As he defends the attack.
Ready
From
to
the
go
back. From the back.
Could have got more, but unfortunately, there was a click clack as
And
he
he
ran
hit
out
the
of
sack.
bullets.
Took their heads and played some hacky sack. Call him Jordan
Dan ran
and
out
he's
of
trying to
steam.
rap. Let's start this.
Trying to rap on the track. It's Jordan, he's back
Let's go,
in the
Dan. Give me
studio.
that.
Blat blat, the sounds of my gat.
The rhymes and the beats, not something Jordan lacks as he commentates CSGO.
With the
You know
crack,
that brother's
Stewie
got the
2K
mad flow.
with the axe, trying to get some kills on connector, and he falls straight back. 4v3 first taking A.
That ain't bad, Jordan. I
Freestyle,
should get
but
you
like
on my track.
trying to.
We should collaborate.
I honestly just want to see the rap cover for our collaboration. I don't really care about the music itself.
Yeah. We get James on there with the shoes. Bolts. Bringing it home.
I thought you were going to rap that. I was ready. Volt. With the AK like a jolt. I can see Dan being like a Weird Al Yankovic. Yankovic.
I would never want to see that.
Wow.
That's just that image is scary to
I
me.
want you to support your friend, all right?
Yeah, man. Why can't you support? Why you gotta hate? Why you
not
gotta
hater.
berate?
Segregate.
Yeah, James.
Not appreciate.
I'm out.
It's too late.
KGB with a flash, but it's late. Now he's going to get traded because he's not. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, the very, very fast push from SK going for that quick A hit. The smokes will prevent Optic from getting through, and Cole's going to push it actually. A late CT smoke there is going to prevent Stanislaw from doing too much. He'll get a single frag, but it's going to be pretty tough to do much more than that. They do have Config trying to get a cheeky third frag, but it's going to be difficult as SK not offering anything up, and so a save is definitely the call here.
Config's knife and glove combo is very pretty.
Configs, where is he?
Configs.
Let's have a look. Where the config at? Oh,
There
great.
he is. Look at him.
Hey, oh, there you go.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. It's lovely, isn't it?
It's nice.
So gaming going into the 11-9 here. I'm curious, Config going to try to keep the op, or is he going to give it to Shazam? Config's definitely got the aim for it. Just going to hold on to that.
And Bosch.
Bish to the bash to the Bosch.
So I saw 2 grenades being thrown. Oh, it's the fast
B split.
yeah, the fast B split. I love me some fast B split. The second smoke to stop or make it harder for him to shoot if they are in the connector position. The flashbang is there though. Stanislaw, he is running out of bullets already. He's got down to 15, and they will go quickly with the MP9. No kills for him.
Good control though to try to get one. Not to over peak early and get scared with the numbers. The whole team looks like there. Stu is able to call that out. As one more is in, and now it's just down to Cajun B.
Nice. This is very much that kind of Danish anti-eco type round. Like one guy up cat, everyone else just rushing the B apps.
If I remember correctly,
yes,
that B split was a Fnatic strat, which Fnatic did to the old Optic team, who did it to SK, who just did it to the new Optic team.
I mean, in a certain sense, everyone kind of has a B split like that nowadays. One thing I liked SK just did is they cleared underpass. A lot of teams just kind of like, go, upper B. But they weren't really, they didn't really hit that gear until their guys were up cat. One guy checked underpass, and then the other 2 are just trailing, which is, you know, on a gun round, that spacing could be more detrimental. But the fact that the op didn't do much damage was fine. But yeah, I like that they cleared that. It could have, like if you get into a fight and the balcony guy gets a kill or something, and there's a guy on B app's balcony, and then the rotate comes in, you get caught fighting, that underpass guy could lose you the round, you know?
Right, yeah.
So it's good they just got a quick clear. And 12-9 going the gun rounds, all M4s on Optic and all AKs on SK Gaming, so a pure CS round coming up.
Okay, he's just going to get a bit aggressive. He's got some support as well. He'll go for a deep push, but Unfortunately for him, there's not too much to fight over. Looks like, oh, Cold Zero appears. He's the only man there, and he's doing massive amounts of damage. Spots the next one as well. Might even have the advantage on the peak. His teammates decide that since they see 2 in mid, they're going to push up the pit straight into the A site and absolutely savage the defense. That is nuts.
Fur's over here playing PUBG. He said, give me the loot. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Notorious B.I.G. cue the song.
Yeah. Very good, very good.
I love that SK there. They see the mid. Cold Zero works that mid push. That's when the A hit happens. They realize that they're not going to have people in position to deny us just a straight run into the site. That's actually something that I noticed that from a communication perspective, because people don't have the protocols sometimes in some of the more amateur levels that they sort of miss out on. There's like some very big tells. But if there's more CTs in one location than there should be, that means the other location, you've got players there. That's the time to go. So pretty simple.
Pretty simple. That's something that James would be yelling at over in matchmaking. Guys, A is obviously clear. That's why every time I love playing matchmaking.
I lost the match for once today. Matchmaking.
First loss ever.
For once?
Yeah. Oh, in matchmaking, I win most of my matches.
I was going to say, last the face it streak is not... Is that,
It's
have you repaired it?
It's up and down. It's very rocky.
Have you repaired it?
Repair is always temporary. It will break again. It's like a Chinese building. It's going to collapse eventually.
Because remember the last time I heard you talking about, it's like you said 14 losses in a row or something. Which
I repaired that, but then it just like I can't win. I just can't win it enough.
The crazy thing
the games.
to me is that's like such a massive. That's like a 14-hour time investment of no mistakes. That's like to repair that. That's
yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, I'd be like, screw that. Oh, CZ's doing damage.
Yes, but that's a perfect lineup for Cold Zero. It's almost like he wills it just by being so good. There was a huge gap in that smoke there, something to look at in the future, or maybe it was deliberate to put him in that position. Though I'd be surprised. Another round in the bag for SK. 3 players surviving, and there's a full buy for Optic.
It's going to take some time, I think, for SK to get the full fear factor back. I think the longer they're a team, you know, everyone knows Stewie's a great player, but I think the longer they're a team and a unit, it's going to be less about the change and any individual on the team. It's going to be back to the SK factor. But when you played them in the past, it wasn't that you were necessarily scared of just Cold or Fallen or Fur. It was that they were so good that you knew that any of them were ready to be activated. It wasn't just some set piece or some strat. You knew Fallen was going to prod you with an op. Fur might be flanking. Taco is ready to just get that one kill that will win them the whole round. And you know, and Stu has that same ability, of course, to be explosive. And so it's the more they have time, the more that's going to be interesting to see how this roster move actually works out. Because
yeah, it's really interesting. Also due to the fact that, like, if they can, I mean, the question I think first is like the first couple months, like communication. Like, it's got to be tough
for sure.
And so if they can somehow get past that hurdle, it's gonna be really cool to see what styles of play Fallen and the rest of the team decide like works. That's completely new because of Stewie being there, because he is so good. He is so versatile and so aggressive. I think they could do some really interesting stuff just by the notion of Stewie being there.
And the second that stuff starts like getting dialed in more, even if they're still working on things, people are gonna start fearing it even more and more. Because I think right now people have this like new confidence versus SK, like, oh, like, yeah, they might not be so good right anymore. Like, they're still working on stuff. Like, that's gonna slowly fade for the tier 2 teams, and I think the SK gap will go. But it is interesting to watch like FaZe now. What's gonna happen with them? Then it's just Astralis gonna be, you know, like the next major can be wild.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now.
Fur can hear that Shazam is on short with a sniper, although he probably thinks he's looking into mid rather than the angle he's holding to B. So that may be some false information being sold. I'm sure Shazam isn't exposing himself to a potential position for Fur here. Fur almost being, oh, that's how bizarre is that? Almost being baited into walking through that to try and pick off the short play he heard, and kills Cajun B instead. Looking over the smoke, covering his teammate on Cat. So what a bizarre turn of events, and now Bolts is charging out, and SK might be looking good here for match point.
Yeah, it's looking really good. They've got the bomb site, they've got the 4v2. Shazam and Config going to have a really hard time. Well, Shazam now needs to try to save this AWP. I would imagine he has no interest in going for this as the bomb now is ticking away on the site. And Shazam is waiting. Has a nice vantage point, or he did, to pick off anyone aggressing into CT, but keep that AWP alive. Look at the money. It sucks. The money is dry. No greenbacks. No stacks of cash for him anyway. Maybe he's got a few dollar bills.
Match point coming up for SK Gaming. Slowly creeping on Shazam are these players, and the creep gets more urgent, more apparent. They went up for the AWP. They don't need to pick it up. They can just buy another one. So AK's way to be cheaper. That was monstrous. Considering how that round opened up for them. Almost, in some ways, by chance. In that, to me, Fer was trying to pick off the short player. He was actually not looking short, but looking into B, and was the solo B player. And I don't know, it's just crazy, man.
The way he got the connector kill, you
yeah, but that's going to be really frustrating for Optic as well. And hilarious because it's Fer, and they'll just think it's Fer things. He's just not respecting the smoke anyway. And it's awesome to watch, though. One of my favorite players.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nuts. Again, once everyone on the team is super comfortable with the roles they're playing, and it's just like an obvious thing in like a month or so, maybe 2. It's going to be kind of insane kinds of stuff they'll be capable of. Hopefully we get to see that, and hopefully it all works out for them. Optic as well. I mean, they're a team that has a lot of potential, considering that I would never have thought this lineup could do anything together. But just Stanislaw really ties it all together. It's going to be a really good boost to his career, I think, if he can make this team work. I think people need, he should have more respect.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the result is, because that's going to give me a clearer picture of how he in-game leads, even though I've never been under him, so I won't know for sure.
Yeah.
But it's curious, because one of the gripes I would have with what I've heard about it is his style is that he is kind of like a one-man leader show, like Sean. And sometimes the problem with that can be your players kind of just rely on you for almost their thinking, right, in general. And so the idea with Optic is hopefully that he can do kind of a fall-in approach where he gets everyone a lot more empowered. So I'm curious to see if he's going to accomplish that. You know, you can be successful with both approaches, but it does seem the more consistent approach is, getting everyone more individually empowered. And, it sounds great. The way I say it sounds eloquent, but it's not easy, to do. So it's not like it's just an accident. So I'm curious.
That's a great talking point, but push will come into the A side. SK want to finish things off, but they're not having the easiest time. Cajun B still in position at the top of the ladder above Shadow as Shazam makes his way around. Trying to grind down these SK players, but it's proving troublesome. Config, the Danish star, let's see what he can do. The AKs are all over the place. Config able to get some damage in here, but he's getting sprayed down, and that's going to be that 16-9 SK Gaming. They will win Mirage with a deadly show of force.
Yeah, that was a fun game of Mirage. Got to see lots of individual plays, lots of doing his thing as per usual, but I think it's fair to say even in defeat, Optic looked promising for the future. A lot of these international lineups seem to be solidifying now and looking better. Obviously, watching the history of the King Winter FaZe team, very long time for that to develop into something, but there is definitely promise here for Optic Gaming. So it's a better run of things now for SK, with some victories in the bag. Obviously, didn't start so well for them, but they take 2 victories away today. So again, I think they only had 4 games played, so they could definitely change the tide of things, change their fortunes around. So we'll see how that develops as well. For at the top of the leaderboard there, 24 kills for only 10 deaths. Most kills on the server, least deaths on the server. That is a problem if you're not SK.
He was doing some crazy pushes. I mean, I say, okay, he was doing some Fer pushes. I can't call them crazy. It's what he does. It's just what he does, yeah. And again, just like when he starts pushing and just finding these crazy angles, like the catwalk one for me was just, it feels like That feels crazy, doesn't it? It's like
You don't see that
can't
done with an
expect that.
AWP. You see it done with a rifle, but not with an AWP.
I look at that play and if I didn't see the name, I'd probably think Oscar. If I didn't see the name, because I think Oscar's crazy as well.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Fur definitely seems to be someone who's maintained his level of comfort through these changes. And like that plays back to the earlier conversation. It's gonna be interesting to see when everyone finds that comfort zone. Even Cold, I mean, Cold's still confident and he still has his plays, but I think Cold very much builds kind of his plays around what's happening on his team. Because, you know, everyone talks about Cold has these like set up plays on CT side. He kind of finds his schemes and stuff. And so he's got to work those out still with the new lineup. And but yeah, Fur just always around the map, and it looks random, looks like he's just pushing, but there's always a method.
Cloud9 versus Complexity will be our next 2 matches. That is coming up after a short break, so stay tuned. We will be back very shortly for our last 2 matches of North America today.